Hi there, welcome to WETO Tutorials, and now let's walk through the basics on how you can interact with the Viskon or other WETO programs. The first tool which you will always use when you want to work in Viskon, for example, is the selection tool. As you can see up here, our first icon is the select tool, and here we have some options for selection and other modes that you select multiple elements at once. Now let's use the simple select tool, and here we have 5 different selection methods. We have the individual component, where you can select multiple components, of course, individually. If you want to select easily multiple elements, then you will have to press once the Shift key on your keyboard. Here you will see a little plus symbol next to your cursor, and now you will be able to select every single element you just want. You just click on. If you press Shift again, you will disable the multiple selection, and now you can do whatever you want with these selected items. If you just go with the individual component selection, if you highlight one of your elements and click again somewhere, you can select again. So this is a kind of multi-selection tool, but it's a little bit longer. So I advise you to press Shift always if you want to select multiple items. The next is the multi-select tool with lines, with line dragging. You can use this by clicking on one element and dragging a line across multiple ones, and every single component which was crossed by this line, which you just dragged, are going to be highlighted, selected. Again, if you want to try it, multi-select, click on one element, drag a line through multiple ones, and this is how you multi-select your 3D elements. Of course, if you want to reach the select tools, you can always right click somewhere where it's empty and go on the select option on the pop-up menu. So right click, select, and now we have the surface selection, where you have to make a big box, and everything that's inside the box will be selected. And of course you have the filter, where you can decide which element type you want to select, you want to include in your selection. We have a very similar method. It's the area selection with work plane. Here, firstly you have to select a plane on any surface, and the box you will create will be created on the previously selected plane. As you can see, now I'm moving this box's corners around the plane which I chose. And we have another one, the material selection. Now this proves to be very useful when you have multiple materials. As you can see, I have here C24, NH2, and it's basically, here is listed every material that's present in the project here. You can also filter by element name or by cross section, by type, story, on which story is placed your element, and of course the structure inside the story. Here we have the stories, the structures, and layers. If you have multiple layers, of course they will be listed here also. And of course you can set multiple filters at once. Okay, and we also have select elements or groups, group selection. First we need a group, so we will create one. I will select with shift selection multiple elements, pressing shift again, right click, and set the group components, click yes, name your group. I will name it test, use it. And now, as you can see, if you want to select again with the individual component method, you will again select individual components. But here we have the group selection, and now we have selected the full group, which we can always copy together or move or something else you want to do with them. This is the group selection. And of course we have the wall selection. Let's see what walls do we have here. Again, if I want to select my wall with the individual component method, it won't work, because it will only select the components which the wall is made of. But here we have the select wall option, and it doesn't matter now which component I click, the whole wall will be selected. And again, two walls we have here. If you select the select wall option, you can press shift again and you can select multiple walls after one another. These are the 3D selection methods, but we also have a 2D selection option, select 2D objects. For this we have to create a drawing. As you can see, we have some 2D lines here, and if I go to the select tab, here now the select 2D objects is live, and I can click on it, and now I can drag a rectangle around the area where I want to select my 2D lines. If I create some other lines through my 3D elements, and I want to select only the 2D lines, I can easily do this by dragging this rectangle, and now only my 2D lines are selected. The 3D elements remain unselected. And another useful feature, you may have already seen that when I wanted to rotate the 3D view here, it was a little bit hard to focus on a single platform here. For this to be a little bit easier, we have a zoom in a point option, and I can select any point which will be in focus now. And now I can easily rotate the model around this point. This is another very useful feature, exceptionally when you have larger models. And these were the basic controls which you use in Viskon or any WETO application.